Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Crypto Wolf, and it's been a pretty slow week, but you know what? I'm gonna take a little look at the chart real quick, just some brief analysis, and then I don't know if I'm feeling ambitious, maybe hang out and chat with you guys for a minute here. But let's get into it. No intro today, that's about it. So as you can see, we just had a lot of this sideways action leading up into this small little pump. Now the interesting thing about that, and this is the 1 hour chart right here, is you can see this orange line cutting across here. Let me jump out over to the daily, and it's kind of hard to see where this guy came from. It was coming off the bottom on this little quick dip in between here, but came across over to the bottom of this one, and nothing super accurate or anything, but it was just interesting that I never deleted it, and it just so happened that we pumped right back up to it and kind of retested that level. So it looks like I'm going to leave it there for a little bit, but you know, we came back up, hit that. You can see all the little white dash lines are still the same support resistance levels that we've had going since all the way back here. What was that, like 13th? So holy crap, a couple weeks ago now. Still got this same little smaller golden pocket over here, which we actually touched off on the bottom of that dip, directly on that. Haven't moved it, still the same spot it's been in. Obviously we still got the big golden pocket for the overall bull market itself. You know, we pushed a little ways away from that, so hopefully that's a good sign. At this point, I'm curious to see what happens with this little half-ass trend line up here. More importantly, really, that I paid more attention to was we have this spider line right here, and it may be a little tough to see on your guys' screen. See that green dotted line right there? That's a spider line right there. Came up, did a little double touch, and just got rejected. And the closest one below it, make this bigger for you, is right down here, right in the middle of the bull market golden pocket right there. So you can see where, you know, we've been ranging right in between these two spider lines for weeks now. We'll see what happens with that. Should be interesting, particularly, you know, now we're kind of trending a little bit, a little above center right here. If we were to draw like a pitchfork or a channel right here, at least we're on the high side of the center, and you know, with this higher low right here, potentially heading back up to maybe retest that spider line a couple times and break through. Now that's the optimistic case. Whoops. So that's pretty much my bullish case right now. My bullish hope is that, you know, we come back up to that spider line, you know, potentially hit a couple times and break through. So that would be the nice thing that I'm looking for. As far as, you know, checking out the market cipher situation here, again on the 1 hour, you know, money flow had that quick little bit of choppiness. You know, barely went in the red, barely in the green, barely back to the red. Now we actually got a little bit more to the green. Should be obvious for anybody looking at it that, you know, we want to see this green maybe continue up into another little peak like that. But we'll see. There's a couple things pointing to the possibility. We also have, you know, tomorrow's Friday, which means we have the weekend coming up. Weekends generally tend to suck, especially when we've been at low energy so much lately. But, you know, RSIs are pointing up fairly well. It's got a little bit of a split, but nothing to really, you know, get too upset about. This guy, we do have kind of a wicked downtrend on the VWAP right here, but, you know, those trends don't last forever. If anything, I would just say that, you know, we have some bearish divergence right here on the VWAP, and we did cross to the downside just in the last little while here. So we'll see. You know, this could, you know, trend down, come down here, play around a little bit. You know, maybe this bounces back off one of those levels and we see a little bit of a pullback. Mainly, I'm just hoping that if we can stay above this first little golden pocket, the, you know, the shorter term one, you know, get a healthy little pullback, maybe get a little bit similar action sideways, maybe a little uppish over the weekend, and start reapproaching the spider line up there. I'd say we'd be looking pretty good at that point. So in order to check, let's go up to the 4 hour. Let's zoom out a little bit, see what it's looking like. You know, dual band strength index, good numbers. We got 13, 16, 17, 18. So looking solid right there. You know, money flow still increasing to the upside right there. VWAP basically just tracing right over the money flow line. RSI's pointed up, generally close together, so that's not looking bad. And we stayed basically solo all through this section. Yeah, a wee bit of a split, but I think that's probably more kind of low energy, low volume than anything, you know, that little bit of split right there. So nothing to be concerned about there. You know, potentially momentum making its way back up. Now, one good thing is, you know, generally speaking, momentum has been trending up, you know, even though prices kind of been crap, but you know, still be nice to see some, I doubt we'll get one quite that big, but it'd be nice to see, you know, some kind of big momentum wave to the upside here, particularly during a case where maybe we break through that spider line. We shall see. We do have an old support resistance line crisscrossing with the spider line right there. We also have, looks like this moving average probably gonna continue working its way down for a little bit. You know, if we can get price to come up, break through that guy. We got rejected right there. See, this moving average pretty much came down right in the same spot as that spider line, which is kind of interesting. So just, you know, remember when you start seeing indicators and indications that overlap or they, you know, intersect, or basically you see some kind of confluence right there, it's definitely an area to look out for. Let's go to the 6 hour. Yeah, money flow kind of funky, but at the same time we pop back up. You know, we had this short little move to the upside before it started coming back down, but we did get a very, very close rejection off the zero line and headed back up. So that's kind of nice. Potentially a trigger wave right here. So that could be a very, very good sign. So I'd say 6 hour actually looking pretty good. You know, VWAP just crossed over. On a 6 hour swing trade, you know, 13, 16 on the DBSI right there. I'd say it's a pretty decent time to be maybe looking for a swing trade right here, which kind of lend more credence to us jumping back up to that spider line. I didn't even see that before. I kind of like that. That's pretty good right there. And on the 12 hour, money flow still increasing. It's slow boating it, but it's going there. You know, RSI still generally heading up. We had that little spike on the regular RSI with the weakness right there. We kind of ran out of gas, but we're still headed up. So potential goodness right there. Daily, this one's a little funky. It's kind of the anomaly when you're flipping through the time frames, and this is kind of what I was talking about in the previous video, where, you know, if you go through and you flip through every single time frame on here, you're going to get conflicting signals, and this is an example of that. And it kind of sucks because it's the daily chart, and the daily chart's pretty much fucking standard. But you can see money flow way down, started coming back up and just going sideways. Obviously still deep in the red. Now, be very nice if that was our bottom. The way things have been acting lately, this might drag out. Either way, if it's going up, it's going up. You know, RSIs are kind of going up now. Still kept that spread from the top of that pump. So not the greatest thing. We did turn around to the upside on the VWAP before hitting the 0 line, and we did have, actually we had a long one here. Had this long upward trend on the VWAP, which was giving us, you know, bullish divergence back here during the big dip. Hasn't played out all that great yet, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, obviously, you know, money flow coming that far down into the red kind of doesn't matter what you're going to do. And if let's jump to the 3-day here. You know, a little bit better. You know, money flow on its way back up. RSI, not the greatest, still a little bit weak. You know, VWAP started taking the turn to the downside, but this can change because it is the 3-day. So even if over the course of tomorrow and this weekend, if this does continue on to the upside, that little VWAP's gonna switch to the upward angle right there. You know, 24, 25, 17. A little bit of a cool off, but not unrecoverable. Obviously, we saw on the, you know, the hourlies that it has potential to go up. And then you get over here to the weekly, which we're still generally looking the way we were looking. You know, RSI's pointed downward. You know, a little bit of split throughout this entire area right here, but you know, it'd be nice if that just translated into, you know, we don't got any bearish strength beyond this point. I'm not going to put all my money on that one. You know, money flow still pointed down, potentially clipping on the momentum wave. We'll see. I mean, we are a little bit past the 60 level. It does, kind of like right here, have a tendency to often go a little bit past it. It's kind of a tough time frame to look at it, but and why the hell not? Monthly, pretty much what you expect. I mean, at this point, your monthly chart might as well be your market fundamentals. Anybody can tell you it's been looking down. So that is where Bitcoin is at. You know, jumping back here to the 30-minute. We do have a little bit of bearish divergence right here. Kind of a double top. Gigantic split. I mean, you can see it's kind of interesting too, because look at these RSIs. You know, we were coming up, all of a sudden just boom. Just took a fork in the road and went completely different cities. At that point, I was like, all right, like this isn't going to last forever. But on the plus side, you know, money flow did come back and start going up into the green. Now we do have some divergence on the VWAP as well. So doesn't bode quite so well. So we'll see. We could be off. I mean, we could be in like a cool off period for the evening, and kind of like I had mentioned earlier, I'd almost expect some kind of pullback a little bit. Just a question of how far. You know, if that money flow continues to look pretty decent, it could just be sideways, a little consolidation for a little bit, and continue. Optimistic case. So we shall see. That's a nice car. Ferrari F40. So that's what's up with that. Ethereum, I haven't been paying too much attention to lately. The way the market's been, you know, I think with all the craziness going on and the market kind of being in the crapper, people have really gravitated back toward Bitcoin, and it's been taking the dominance a little bit. ETH just consolidating, just ranging sideways a little bit. Momentum down here, just super weak, kind of lame. Ethereum Classic, though, you know, did have a little bit going on here and there. You know, we had this nice long little uptrend going on there for a minute before we did finally come down, but it's doing better than you know, regular ETH. At the same time, whole lot of weakness. Not sure if I expect too much more out of it. Cardano, you know, had a nice little pump going right there. Look at the money flow. Just, son of a bitch, every damn time. Yep, money flow. Big old green wave. Coming back into the green. You know, RSI is looking a little bit better, but I got a feeling if everybody, you know, starts to pull back a little bit, might do the same. Now, oh, one thing I did want to mention, if I can figure out what time frame that was on. So I was looking at, you know, the last time we had a similar move to what we have now, you know, where we had big downtrend and like straight sideways consolidation. And even here, you know, it was never really necessarily straight, and we had, you know, bigger swings. So I'm like, okay, not necessarily that. You know, this was a little sideways, but this was at the top of an uptrend. This guy seemed kind of close here, specifically like this area where we had the dip. And now I'm just drawing lines all over the place. And then we just kind of had some sideways action, you know, one pump followed by a dip. Straight sideways again. Had one last pull down before slingshotting back up. And the closest thing I see to like what we're going through right now kind of seems like this. You know, same thing where we came down, touched off that golden pocket. Come over to the present. You know, came down, touched off. Had that sideways action, had that one little pump. I'm curious to see if at some point, you know, maybe we come and touch that, or maybe we hit off that spider line. But I would generally expect like maybe one more little dip down before shooting off. I mean, this could be that, you know, that could be the last, you know, the higher low type bottom right there. And we could be off from that point. If so, it seems like it happened kind of quick. Like right here. Had that touch off. Then had one more where it seemed like, you know, that was the short term right there. But quite often, you know, we have one that's a little bit closer. You know, a big wick. Going back and looking here. You know, similar situation back here. Came down, had our bottom. Had that little short term second bottom with the higher low. And then had one more before taking off to the upside. Oh, you're gonna make me go back a ways for another one, huh? Yeah, that was an anomaly. You know, kind of got it here. It seemed like that was bottom, but this one was the real bottom. Came in at one more low before taking off. So we shall see. You know, it doesn't have to be. Just one of those things where I'm like, okay, you know, what has it generally done in the past, and how is it looking right now compared to that? And I feel like we got maybe one more decent wick to the downside before taking off. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd appreciate it more if it didn't, but quite often that tends to be the case. I mean, even just on the screen right here, you know. They generally come in pairs, if not threes, but usually when it comes in threes, you know, you'll have like a wick here, your bottom, then your higher low. Kind of an inverse head and shoulders, if you will. So what's going on with everybody? What do we have? 20 minutes? I'd say we well enough went over the charts. Let's see. Let's check the coin market crap, see if anybody's been doing anything here. I think I saw Frankie Candle said ICP. Yeah, ICP was doing it 20%. Shaking things up. I don't even know if I have that on my watch list anymore. Stellar moving a little bit. Near Protocol bumped its way up the list. That's nice. Let's see what's up at Near. Oh, we're on the daily. I'm like, man, I'm not seeing it. Making big moves down in the little dollars. 9%. Potentially making the turn, at least short term. You know, we're getting a little bit of split right there. See if a little pullback in momentum maybe. Yep, money flow still heading up, although kind of ducking sideways for a quick minute. But what was this pump? That nice little 38er right there. All right. Ave up on the list. Mana. Avalanche. Solana. Hey, did you hear? I wonder if this will show up if I click on this. Did you guys hear about Solana's blockchain? I guess took a crap like 12 times and had to shut it down for a hot minute. Let's see. Do they carry any news stories? No. News. Solana network faces a blackout yet again, and here's the fallout. Solana network crashed again on June 1st night. That's a weird way to write that. It was a 4.5 hour long crash that was reported by Solana team via tweets instantly. This is the latest crash in a series of network outages in less than a year. Power failure is price failure. Solana was down again. Let's see. So I don't know. Oh, shit, it's not that bad. Let's I mean, it's downtrending a little bit more, but I mean, you look at it compared to ETH. It's really not terribly different. I'd say it managed to hold pretty well, considering, you know, still had that uptrend throughout the day. Still 9%. Yeah, money flow didn't take any crazy drops or anything like that. I think that sounds like they're just, I think they're hunting for a news story right there, and it's just not as bad as maybe they want it to be. I think after the Terra Luna thing, anytime something like that happens, they're jumping all over it. Like, oh my god, look at this. Oh, it's gonna be the next to fail. What do we got here? Cardano up 4. Polkadot 4. 6 for Avalanche. Leo, honestly, anybody ever get into Leo? If you're still watching this and you ever looked into it or you mess with it or you hold it or anything, let me know. I honestly just don't know jack about it. Speaking of, you guys ever remember that game, Don't Know Jack? It used to be like a DVD trivia game or something where you put the DVD in and you could like answer questions. I think it was like with the remote or something, and you got a bunch of people in the living room. God, I forgot about that. I think it was supposed to be like kind of irreverent. Wow. It's a little jog of the memory on that one. Let's see. Oil 116. Interesting turn of events on oil. You know, money flow kind of heading down on the hourly a little bit. You know, reached a little bit of a split and rolled the top. VWAP came back to the downside. Potentially a lower high. Now, I did hear that OPEC did officially announce that they were going to up production ahead of schedule because like the entire world's been begging them to, you know, produce more in hopes that could bring the price down. An interesting one about that though was, you know, with that announcement, the price generally still pumped all day. And it sounds like a number of people were maybe expecting the price to at least either pull back or just kind of stabilize a little bit. You know, we had this potential little downtrend going right there. And it sounded like people were kind of hoping that it'd just be like, and just get some relief. But didn't happen. So we'll see. I mean, when we get to the point where that, you know, extra production reaches the market, you know, maybe we chill a little bit. But in the grand scheme of things on the long term, I don't see it. Like, unless we get some serious, I don't even know if policy change would even do it for the US right now. We do got a little bit of this you know, potential little downtrend on the RSI here, but I mean, if this thing just goes right back to the top, if anything, it'd be like an uptrend. You know, money flow slowly down a little bit, but you know, VWAP going up, and at the same time, I mean, it takes nothing for that to put in a new high right there. So not looking great at the gas pumps or the petrol pumps, depending on where you're at. All I know is I'm just kind of hoping that we don't put in a new all-time high. I don't know, what is it by you guys? I think it's reaching like $4.50 a gallon here, which sucks. Super sucks. No working from home for me. No, sir. That, and man, I gotta take a long drive in the very near future here, and that's gonna be kind of ridiculously expensive in gas. I may have to just like, I don't even know, rent like a full-size car, which, God, I hate doing that. I can't drive for long distances in small cars. Maybe like a mid-size SUV, as long as it's got comfy seats. Maybe if it's got like the flex fuel or something like that. We shall see. SPY. Yeah, SPY looking kind of ugly, just like everybody has expected it to. Just money flow taking a dip. RSI is generally going down, but we did have a big split on the RSIs right here, and it came close to the bottom. You know, VWAP getting ready to cross back up. I'd say we, if nothing else, got a little bit of a move to the upside. So, yeah, I don't know. Strong likelihood that maybe S&P will finish out the week on a high note. Okay, maybe not like a high note, but you know, on a green candle note. What's silver doing? Silver's ranging. Came back up in low 20s over there. Whoops. I liked you better when you were around 15. Oh well. Yeah, I just saw a silver coin. I got an email about it. It was damn, what was it? It's like one of those wonders of the ancient world ones. I know I've got one that's like the lighthouse of Alexandria. That one's kind of cool. Can't remember what this new one was though. Oh well. But that's basically what's going on in the world right now, in the world of charts. Man, altcoin market cap not looking super great. I guess neither is the regular one. Just getting choppy down here on the money flow. We'll see. VWAP crossing, momentum potentially heading up. Doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot on the market cap because it's just going to do whatever happens, but there's one more I want to look at. I do not feel like looking on the 5-day. So we got here, nice little uptrend here on Monero. Zcash, a little bit of sideways action. Pirate coin, about the same, a little bit weaker. All right, I'll leave it at that. Planning on doing like a regular, some kind of informative, instructional video. If not tomorrow, probably Saturday. We'll see. Depends how the weather goes. But hope you all have a fantastic Friday leading up into an absolutely awesome weekend. And good luck with them gas prices out there. Remember, keep being a badass. Don't let it bring you down. You know, even if the world's burning down around you, fuck it. Start cracking jokes about it. It's too short not to. All right. Later.